Shabbat Shalom. They quieted down much faster this time. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome, everybody. We're here for a very special day to celebrate Shabbat, and then also something incidental that's happening. Jordan's going to become Bat Mitzvah at this service. Hello? Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So a couple of things to tell people if you've not used this prayer book before. If everybody opens to page 192, I'll make some explanations. This book usually works in a way that the facing pages work as a single unit. So on one side you will see Hebrew. For those of you who read Hebrew, you know which side that is. For those of you who don't read Hebrew, you'll also know what side that is because you can't read it. Underneath the Hebrew is a translation. It is the meaning of the prayer, fairly literal most of the time. And next to the Hebrew in English letters is what we call transliteration. That is the Hebrew in English letters. So if you want to follow along with the Hebrew but don't read Hebrew, you use the transliteration. On the left-hand side of the page is one, or sometimes there are two, readings that are creative readings on the same theme as the prayer that is being chanted or sung. We encourage you to participate as much as possible, to join along in the prayers. If you know the Hebrew of the prayers, please do that. If you do not know Hebrew, again, you can look at the meaning, or you can try to stumble. We encourage as much singing as possible as a congregation. If you know the words, use them. If you don't know the words, you can hum along or sing la la. But we ask you, please do not accompany the music with anything electronic or digital that might be in your pocket. Thank you. The other thing is, and everybody's checking now, that's very good. I really appreciate that. Because I have, as they say, I give the eye when that happens occasionally. The other thing is that we do not take pictures in the sanctuary during the service. The only pictures being taken are taken behind the window that's outside of the sanctuary. And after the service, if you feel like taking a picture, please feel free to do so. So we're ready to begin the service, and we turn to page 192, and we begin with Ma Tovu.
Ma Tovu Ohalecha Yaakov Mishkenotecha Yisrael Ani Beroch Hasecha Avo Beitecha Eshtacha Ve'eshtacha Elchecha al Kodechecha Ve'yiratecha Adonai Avti Me'om Beitecha Umkom Mishkan Kevodecha Va'ani Eshtachaveh Ve'echracha Evrecha Lifnei Adonai Osi Va'ani Tefilati Becha Adonai Et Ratzon Elohim Beroch Haslecha Aneni Be'emet Ishecha.
Together on 195. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware, we would lack the strength to stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei kol basar, umafli lazo. We will now continue on page 218 with the singing of Psalm 150.
Hallelujah.
Please turn now to page 223.
You shall always be praised, great and holy God, our sovereign in heaven and on earth. Songs of praise and psalms of adoration become you, acknowledging your might and your dominion. Yours are strength and sovereignty, sanctity, grandeur, and glory always. We offer our devotion, open our hearts in acclamation. Praise are you, sovereign of wonders, crowned in adoration, delighting in song, eternal majesty. V'yikra v'yikdash shmei Rabbah. V'yamad yivrach yirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayeh honu yomecho, u'v'yidelu b'Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, u'bizman karib, v'yimeru amen. Shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam olam le'omaya, yitbarach, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitrama v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalel v'yitalal shemei jekudsha. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata b'nechemata, dami rameama, v'yimeru amen. Please rise and turn to page 226. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever. In the beginning, even then, a new light was sown for the righteous, a promise that your light would become a catalyst, first for order and then for hope. Author of language and light, help us to use words as you have, to cast light into dark waters and draw out justice and truth. Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMe'orot. Once in a lifetime, a man or woman may choose a radical leaving, having heard Lech Lecha, go forth. God disturbs us towards our destiny by hard events and by freedom's now urgent voice, which explode and confirm who we are. We don't like leaving, but God loves becoming. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Emod Yisrael v'Ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol lavavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha. V'hayu ha'arim ha'ele asher Elohim metzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam l'vamecha v'dibartam bam v'shivtecha v'beitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'shokbecha u'v'kumecha u'shartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu l'todafo b'neinecha u'ktavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'bisharecha continue responsively on page 239. The eternal truth is that you alone are God, and there is none else.
In the righteous of all nations rejoice in your love and exalt in your justice.
Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks.
Let nation not without sword against nation, nor learn war anymore.
You shall not hate your brother or your sister in your heart.
The stranger that sojourns with you shall be accepted as your equal, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt.
Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor? Asked God.
You know that the eternal one defends the poor and holds the rights of the needy.
Praise to God Most High.
Blessed is God who is worthy of us.
Please turn to page 242 and rise for the tefillah. Adonai sebata tiftachu fia ki tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor B'Hanorah, El-Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Bekonei Yaakov, V'zocher Hasteyaho B'imaho, U'mevi Geulah Livnei Bneihem, L'ma'an Shemo Ve'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'ezras Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei Hakol atah, Rav Eloshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechakel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayei Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofeh Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, B'Chamocha Ba'Gevurot, Umido
Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated as we turn to page 250.
Shabbat,
page 253. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat which unites us with faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw near to life, to peace, and to joy. May we find true rest, holiness in our deeds, worth in our study of Torah. Let us feed on the love of goodness. Let us drink from the love of goodness. Restrain our thirst from excess, and cleanse our hearts to serve life well. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw near in life, in peace, and in joy. Baruch atah Adonai, she'ochal levadcha be'ra. Please respond with Modim Anachnu La, which means we give you thanks. For the expanding grandeur of creations, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imagination. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements. For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding the views not shared. For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom. For human liberty and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose. We pray that we may live, not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, tov shimcha u'lecha
Sim shalom, tova u'bracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim v'rachamim aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol Yisrael amecha, barcheinu yatzreinu kulanu kechad, be'or panecha, ki be'or panecha natat lanu, Adonai Eloheinu, sim shalom, tova u'bracha, hein v'chesed v'rachamim v'rachamim aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol Yisrael amecha, Torat chayim ve'achavat chesed, ve'achavat chesed, וצדקה וברכה ורחמים וחיים בשלום. שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל ישראל עמך וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עדן ובכל שעה בשלומך. שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל ישראל עמך.
Please pray silently.
We will now turn to page 362 for Seder Kriyat HaTorah. This time I'd like to call to the Bima to assist with the passing the Torah down. Jordan's grandparents Annette and Stan, please come up. And her mother, Rabbi Debbie Till. I'd like to call up Larry Till and Diane Wise to assist with the ark opening, Abby Wise Till and Josh Till to assist with undressing the Torah, and Jamie Till to assist with holding the Torah. Page 362.
En kamocha Elohim Adonai, vein kemasecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha bechol dor v'ador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch,
Adonai Yarech, Amova Shalom. Please rise. It is a tree of life. It is a tree of life because it gives our people spirit and life throughout the ages. And so today, as through the ages, we pass it from parents to child. In this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it. The Torah reading for this Shabbat is Lech Lecha, and Jordan will be chanting from the 12th chapter of the book of Genesis. In your book, the Torah, if you have that book nearby, you will find it on page 91. Yamdu Zechariah Mika ben Harav Devora Harav Yonatan Ariel Bracha bat Harav Devora Harav Yonatan La Torah Rishonim. The first Aliyah call up Zach and Ariel.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaBarach.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'charbanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'Torah. Amen.
Vayomer Adonai el Avraham מארצך וממולדתך ומבית אביך אל הארץ אשר אראך. ואעשך לגוי גדול, ואברכך ואגדלה שמך, והיה ברכה. ואברך מברכך ומקללך האור, ונברכו בך כל משפחת האדמה.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. Amen.
The love of siblings, so wonderful. Talmud, Rav Devorah Bat Shlomo V'Chana La Torah Shenit. For the second Aliyah, I call up Jordan's mother, Rabbi. She has a name too. Yeah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayelech Avram, kasher diber elav Adonai, vayelech ito lo. Va'avram ben chamesh shanim v'shivim shana betzeto mecharan. Vayikach Avram et Sarai ishto ve'et lot. Va'avram ben achiv ve'et kol rechlusham asher rachashu hanefesh asher asu v'charan. Vayatzu lalechet vayatzu lalechet arza Knan. Vayavor Avram haaretz ad mekom Shem ad Elomoreh. V'hakna ani as ba'aretz.
That's it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. As you know, you were lovingly called the hokey pokey baby in our house because you were breech. But with the blessing of skilled help and determination, I like to think a little of yours and a little of mine, we turned you all around just before your amazing arrival into this world. You did indeed appear headfirst, adorable, and pink, and you have continued to amaze ever since. You were, as a young child and are now, the kind to put your whole self in. I am so proud of how you are leading us this morning, so proud of all the work you have done to reach this moment, so proud of who you are and who you are becoming. They say that becoming a bat mitzvah means you are an adult in the eyes of the Jewish community, but I hope I won't get in trouble for saying this. I kind of hope that isn't true. I hope that you will become an adult over time and that today will show you just how strong, capable, poised, and awesome you are. I hope you will grow into a young adult who continues to look deeply into life, who loves with the fullness of your heart, who laughs until your sides ache, and who doesn't leave a hug, but who dances out of one. I hope that you will always speak your truth that you will be loyal and trustworthy, that you will challenge the status quo when needed, that you will both lead and be a part of the team. I hope that your incredible sense of humor and your wit brings you as much joy as it does the rest of us. And I hope that on family road trips, that you never stop playing hide and seek in the car. I hope that you will use your awesome creative spirit as you snap pictures, sing through musicals, see a blank face as a canvas to paint, and that you will strive to create something awesome and uniquely yours in this world. I hope that you will always put your whole self in. When you and Zachary and Ariel were little, we used to go to Imagine RIT, to the festival, that see all the incredible innovations that they were developing. You pedaled a stationary bicycle that had a blender on the back of it and marveled at the smoothie you made. You watched in awe as students displayed robotic animals they made and asked if we could get one for our house. But one of my most vivid memories was when you were about 5 years old and we were in the section that had those enormous inflatables. And the one that captured your attention and your interest was not the one that you climb up and not the kind that you slide down, but the one that required tiny little you to get into a full bodysuit covered entirely in Velcro and then run toward the wall at full speed, throwing your whole body against it and sticking about a foot off the ground to that wall. There you were, stuck, all of you, with no idea how you would get down. You put your whole self in. And you showed all of us what being brave, what taking a chance looked like early on. Since the very beginning, you have been showing me what it looks like to jump into life with both feet. And so my hope for you as you grow into young adulthood is that you know how deeply you are loved and can love, that you know how smart, capable, and kind you are, that you know that I love you as you are and as you are becoming, that you know that there is broken in this world that needs your head and your heart for its repair, that you know how blessed you are to be a part of a family who will be by your side and who knows that you are going to do extraordinary things. And I hope, like Abram in your Torah portion, that you will be open to hearing the call of God and that you will be willing to go. And so, my hokey pokey child, as you turn yourself around and as you look out at this room filled with love, I hope in the very deepest part of your heart that you know that that is what it's all about.
Now to be called to the Torah on the aliyah of becoming bat mitzvah.
תעמוד, 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 תעמוד. ירדן אביטל בת חרב דבורה והרב יהונתן הבחורה בת מצווה. חזק, חזק, חזק ונתחזק. חזק ואמץ.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Vayera Adonai el Avram, vayomer Lazar acha eten et haaretz hazot, vayiven sham mizbeach laAdonai hanir'eh elav, vayaetek misham ahara mikedem lebe'el vayet ohalo be'el miyam v'ha'ai mikedem, vayiven sham mizbeach laAdonai, vayikra b'shem Adonai. Vayisa Avram haloch v'nasoa hanegba. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam nata b'toheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Yamod Amagbia, Yamdu Agolalim, and now I'd like to call up Rabbi Jonathan Tabachnikov to assist with the lifting of the Torah, and Zachary and Ariel to come back to help dress the Torah. Please rise.
וזאת הדרה שעשה משה לפני בני ישראל, ולבי אדוני ביד משה. יאי לי לי
Please be seated. The Haftarah for this morning comes from the prophet Isaiah, chapter 40. You can find this in the book, the Torah, on page 118. Jordan will begin by chanting the blessing before the Haftarah, then the Haftarah, and then the blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar b'mi'im tovim v'ratza b'nivrhem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah u'moshe avdo u'be'Yisrael amod u'mimiyeh ha'emet v'tzedek. Lama tomar Yaakov u'tedaber Yisrael, nistera darki me'Adonai u'me'Elohai, mishpati ya'avor. Halo yadata im lo shemata, Elohei olam Adonai, borei ketzot haaretz, lo iyaf velo igam, ein cheker litvunato, notein laya'ef koach, U'ein onim otzma yerbei, ve'yafu ne'arim ve'igau, u'bachurim kashol yikashelu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzur kol haolamim, tzadik bechol hadorot, Ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh, hamdaber u'mkayem, shekol divarav emet v'tzedek, al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nvi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, likdusha v'limnucha, lechavod u'tifaret, Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modim lach, umvarchim utach, יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen. We will now turn back to our prayer books to page 374. I'd like to call up Steve Till and Pauline Abbott to assist with the ark opening. Please rise. Yahalelu et Shem Adonai ki niskav shemo levado. Let us praise the name of Adonai, for God's name alone is exalted. Please be seated. And now Jordan has her Devar Torah that she's prepared for this morning.
Shabbat Shalom. In the section of the Torah that I just read from, the book of Genesis, God is telling Abram to leave his homeland and everything that is familiar to him and go to a place that God will show him. And my Haftarah comes from the book of Isaiah, and it's connected to my Torah portion in the similar way that to how God chose Abram to eventually be the leader of the people, here God chose the people Israel to lead. Together, the two stories share a similarity in that God trusts each to lead our people. I learned from this story that in addition to the leap of faith that Abram had to take in agreeing to go on this journey, that the purpose of the journey was not to become great, rather it was to become a vehicle through which all of life's families would be blessed. From this, we learned that our lives as Jews are meant to be a blessing and benefit others' lives. This makes me think of the difference between GPS and Waze. Although both benefit us on a road trip or journey, the two are very similar. A GPS is there to guide us on our route, and Waze is not only there to guide us, but also to show us how to get around any obstacles or trouble spots. There seem to be a lot of trouble spots right now, and this makes me think about how we can be blessings. We could be better about caring for the earth. We could be better about being considerate of others and their needs, like making sure all of our spaces are accessible to all people. And we could be better at really and truly welcoming and including people. This includes anything from letting someone join your group for a school project to housing a refugee who's fleeing danger. Being a blessing is about more than being a GPS. It's about going above and beyond, maybe to a place that we have not yet been, and having faith in using our ways. I want to end by saying thank you. I want to thank Cantor Braun and Rabbi Katz for all their help and support. Without them, nothing that I have done this weekend would have been possible. I'm at Temple a lot, and I always love seeing your smiling faces whenever I come here. I want to to thank all of you for being here today and celebrating this joyous day with me. Whether you came from near or far, just the fact that you all came to support me means so much. Thank you for making this day so special. I want to thank my tutor, Neely, for being an amazing teacher and making me do my very best. Neely, you started with Zachary many years ago, and you have put up with our family and helped each one of us do an amazing job. Now that I'm finished with mine, you don't have to deal with us anymore. And lastly, I want to thank my mom for always being there for me and for making my bat mitzvah meaningful and enjoyable. I know that this has been very stressful for you, and I may not have been the most pleasant during the whole process. But I want you to know that all of your hard work has not gone unnoticed. Without you, absolutely nothing this weekend would have happened. And I'm very thankful for the work you did being the manager for my bat mitzvah and being my mom at the same time.
It's now my pleasure to call up the president of our congregation, Keith Greer, to make a presentation to Jordan on behalf of the congregation, the Board of Trustees, and numerous organizations.
Thank you. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
So I sit at the back whenever I have to do one of these presentations, and I think, what can I say that would be at all meaningful at a moment when you probably just want to get the heck out of here? And so I could, your mom shared with me some wonderful traits about you. So I could talk about, I hear you have a wicked sense of humor. I could talk about that. I could talk about how impressed I have always been, and I have to bring your sister into this, with the two of you, because I would always imagine that being the rabbi's kid isn't the easiest gig in the world. And you both carry yourself with a grace around this building that I notice, and I just want you to know that it's noticed. I could comment on, I hear something from the kindergarten teacher about how wonderful you are with her students, and I could talk about that, but there's something else that you did that you probably don't even know you did that was really meaningful to me. So just show of hands, how many people in here have either are or have raised teenagers? How many of you had that experience out in public with your teenagers when their friends would walk by, they would use their sheer brilliance and creativity to make it look like they don't belong to you? Right? So back in July, shortly after I took my turn as president, I was at I call it my Western Temple Sinai office. It's 12 Corners Starbucks. And you were in there with your friends. And you and I don't know each other all that well, but we made eye contact, and you smiled and you acknowledged me. And I know that doesn't sound like a very big thing, but that was a moment where you could have easily just walked right by me because you were with your friends, and you didn't. And that alone right there, Jordan, just told me a world about who you are and your warmth and your compassion, and I would even argue your leadership, because that takes something, not just to walk by the adults. And I wanted to personally thank you for that. That was a comforting moment for me at a time when I was feeling a little bit anxious about taking on this whole president thing. So thank you. So we have and we have so many gifts that I have to pull out the list because I will not remember all of them. But these all come from different parts of your Temple Sinai community. So we have a certificate that states that you have become bat mitzvah here at Temple Sinai today, a $250 gift certificate from the National Federation for Temple Youth, known as NIFTY, toward a future NIFTY Israel trip, and there's a theme about this Israel trip thing. A certificate providing a grant from the Farish Institute for Jewish Education to participate in a future Teen Israel trip. A certificate from the Jewish Community Center for a complimentary one-year membership for yourself. A $540 certificate for the Jewish Federation of Greater Rochester's Gift of Israel program, and from your congregation, a Kiddush cup and a book, Torah, the Modern Commentary, travel edition, more about that traveling to Israel thing. So again, Mazel Tov, you were wonderful and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
You are so cool. I was more nervous than anybody, right? But you would just handle yourself so well. We are so proud of you, but I hope more importantly, you are proud of yourself, Jordan. Jordan, when I read your Dvar Torah, I love the imagery of using a comparison of a GPS and a Waze. And I imagine that Abraham had neither one of these tools as he set out on his unusual journey into the future. He actually had an older model cell phone, though, but it didn't have a texting feature. Now, before we get to your verses that you chanted so beautifully, this is all we know about Abram from the Torah. Ready? We read in Genesis 11 for a few verses. Now, this is the line of Terach. Terach begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begot Lot, and Haran died in his lifetime of his father Terach in the land of Ur of the Chaldeans. Abram and Nahor took themselves wives, the name of Abram's wife being Sarai, and that of Nahor's wife, Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah and Iscah. Now Sarai was barren, she had no child. Terach took his son Abram, his grandson Lot, the son of Haran, and his daughter-in-law Sarai, the wife of his son Abram, and they set out together from Ur of the Chaldees to the land of Canaan, towards the land of Canaan. But when they had come to Haran, they settled there, they stayed there. The days of Terach were 205 years, and Terach died in Haran. Jordan, that's all we know about Abram. And then God tells this somewhat obscure figure, just a name in a book, and his wife, go on a journey somewhere for an elusive reward. Now, I only call him obscure in regard to what we know of him up to this point as recorded in the Torah. Later on, we know that he and Sarah become the parents of our people. He and Hagar become the parents of Ishmael and the Arab people. This shows us that while anyone starts out with a tiny bit, maybe nothing on their resume, it's their actions later on that build up their credibility. It is not how we start out, Jordan, but after we go through life with different achievements, and that later on can be seen as the picture of who we are. God tells Abram in your Torah portion, I will make you a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and curse those that curse you, and all the families of the earth shall bless themselves by you. Now, even after hearing this promise, Abram probably thought, why am I going to this new place? What will it be like? What will I do there? Do they have cable TV? What's all this about me becoming a blessing for others? We learn from a midrash, and you know I like the midrash, right? The Eternal said to Abram, go forth from the land, lech lecha. And Rabbi Yitzchak said, this may be compared to a man who is traveling from place to place when he saw a birah doleket, a castle, maybe aglow, maybe lit up, maybe full of light, maybe in flames. And he said, is it possible that the castle lacks a person to look after it? The owner of the building looked out and said, I am the owner of the castle. And similarly, the Midrash says, because Abraham, our ancestor, said, is it possible that the castle has no guide, no one to look after it? And the Holy One looked out and said to Abram, I am the master of the universe. I am choosing you to become its guide and caretaker. Hence, God said to Abram, lech lecha, go forth. Now that Midrash shows that as Abram looks ahead to this unknown land, he wonders what will make this place important. How will it become a place where blessing can be achieved? God reminds him that he has the capacity and the talent to be the caretaker. Now, is that any different from a young teenager of 13 years of age who is looking ahead to their life that they have before them? There's so much out there that you can do with your life. Yet at times, it's not uncommon to wonder, how will I do that? What will I do? How can I reach my goals and dreams I might have now, but who knows? And Jordan, I remember one of the first times you came to my home, you spent a long time through this, we have a bookcase, it goes up to the ceiling, right? Wide, and it only has cookbooks. It's not my bookcase. You were looking for interesting recipes. Remember that? Perhaps your gift and future will have something to do with this sphere, or it will simply be just part of your home life. You told us that you love to bake, and I've tasted some of your work, and they were delicious. But what you choose to do is something that you will decide. Over the years, the plans and decisions can change as you find your fulfillment in life. Now, do you think Abram knew what was in store for him when he left? He was a shepherd, but later on he became a warrior who helped to rescue his nephew Lot when he was captured by a group of kings. He also became a moral voice in the face of God. He challenged God. How can the source of justice act unjustly? Must not the judge of earth act justly? He stood before God's might and power to bargain for the lives of the residents of Sodom and Gomorrah. He kept pushing his point when others might have retreated in the face of the all-powerful God. Now, we also know Abram had his challenges, his faults, and his failings, but we all do. Yet he seemed to overcome them in the end and established himself according to God's promise as a blessing to the families of the earth. But it was not always easy. Sometimes we fear the future and the challenges that are in front of us. I recently read a wonderful witticism about the word fear. The following was seen on a signpost. F-E-A-R has two meanings. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. Choice is yours. When Abraham and Sarah were told to leave the familiar of home and family, there must have been some doubt and trepidation. When he encountered other kings, he was not always sure of himself or the outcome of those encounters. When he took his beloved son Isaac to a mountain because of a message from God, he probably wondered and worried about the outcome. Our rabbis teach us that Abram faced 10 tests. In the end, he triumphed and earned his lot as the source of blessing for others. Jordan, life is surely full of tests. Standing up here today in front of these 17 people was a test for you, I know that. And I don't simply mean tests are the things you take in school. When you stood up here and did so well, you not only passed the test, you passed with flying colors. And your life ahead, you will have more tests, different challenges, and times of uncertainty. But your talents and strengths will help you achieve much. Then you, like Abraham and Sarah, will also be a blessing.
We would like to invite an esteemed colleague of ours and a great family friend, Cantor Clea Franco.
You shall be a blessing. and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lech to the land that I will show you. L'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, l'chilach. And you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. L'chilach.
Jordan, come up here and receive a blessing from us that you can take with you on your journey. May God bless you and watch over you. The light of God shine upon you. May God be gracious to you. May the presence of God be felt in your life. May you be blessed. Blessing. Shalom. We'll now turn to our concluding prayers for the service as we turn to page 586 and we rise for the Aleinu. Loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. The Shabbat, which we have commemorated, Kristallnacht, we remember those whose lives were taken at that terrible time. And as we come into Veterans Day, We remember all those veterans who have given their life for the protection of our freedom and this country. We also remember and offer sympathies to the recent deaths of Lorraine Litt, the sister-in-law of Bob and Rona Litt, the aunt of Sarah Beth Kanabrowski, Susie Fox, the sister of Linda Beckwith, aunt of Jody Beckwith, Edward Scott Long, the brother of Shelley Long, Berta Rubin, Michael Wexler, the father of Kevin Wexler, and Chuck Frame. We also remember the yard sites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Sidney Albaum, Harry Blum, Joseph Dubin, James Eichner, Wolf Fagan, Helen Forchheimer, Richard Friedlander, Anna Goldman, Samuel Gross, Morton Hare, Ida Harf, Jacob Katz, Ralph Katz, Sophia Katz, Lois Koff, Diana Lada, Boris Lemberskaya, Vanya Lemberskaya, Beatrice Rose, Ethel Rosen, Paul Rosenhack, Ray Rubel, Stephen Schwid, Jacob Thomas Scheidlower, Jan Stamm, Samuel Hyman Steinberg, Natalie Evelyn Teagarden, Janice Whiteman, and Joan Yesenow. Are there any other recent deaths or yard sites that anybody is commemorating today? Would like to say those names?
Jerry Greenstein.
Judy Engerman. Gene Vivier.
George's grandfather, Gary Sebastian.
Zichronam Livracha, may their memories all be for blessing. We turn to page 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalmad divrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ma'agalav v'zman kariv yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach v'olam ulolmei omaya, v'yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'gudasha barichu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, v'ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'yal kol yoshvei tevel, v'yimru amen. May God who creates peace in the heavens above, let peace descend on us, on all Israel, on all humanity throughout the earth, and let us say together, amen. Please be seated. Just for you to know that everyone is invited following the service to the Kiddush lunch in honor of Jordan becoming Bat Mitzvah, and there are a whole bunch of other announcements, and if you want them, look on the website. I just want to mention that on Friday the 22nd, we will not have services here, we will not have Shmuz and Shabbat here. We are joining TBK to be there at 6 p.m. Rabbi Hara Person, the CEO of the Central Conference of American Rabbis, will be our guest speaker that evening. That's enough. Come on up. What page are we on?
657.
657 for our closing song, as the family will lead with the cantor, Od Yavo Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleinu, Yavo 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 Shalom Aleinu, Salam, Aleinu Le'olam, Salam, 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 Aleinu Le'olam, Salam, Shalom Aleinu, Yavo 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 Shalom Aleinu, Salam, Aleinu Le'olam, Salam, Salam, Aleinu Le'olam, Salam, Shalom Aleinu, Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Yavo Shalom Aleinu,
Please rise for the closing benediction. And I just want to mention that you see the narrow aisle here in the middle? So if you wait for the family to come, you'll never get out to the social hall. So if you move to the social hall, they will come out to you, and then the people in the front can actually get out of the room. Right. Adonai oz li amo yitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Eternal God, grant strength to us on our journeys in life. Grant strength to us as we become a blessing to help bring about a world of peace. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Someone walked in, they were like,